Tonight we've got protest, a helicopter, businessmen who think they're above the law, and a referee who thought he was free to pee on live TV. I am Noriko Bullford, and this is Uncut News. The nurses from Linden are continuing their protests against Sweetman Smalls. This morning, at least 50 nurses protested outside the ministry's headquarters on Brickdam, demanding that the health ministry gives him the boot, this time for real. In fact, they've promised to continue to block Smalls from entering the hospital until he is fired. The health ministry called the action an illegal strike and has refused to talk unless the industrial action is called off. Union President Patrick Yard countered that, saying that the strike is not illegal as there are enough nurses on staff to run the hospital, while it only takes just a couple of them to block Biggie Smalls from getting into his office. Despite having apologized to the nurses, the GPSU said they're also looking to sue Smalls for defamation. Nurses were not the only workers mad at the government today. Over in Berbice, workers from the Blairmont and Albion sugar estates started picketing to demand that Gaisuco conclude wage negotiations, which they say have dragged on for far too long. It has been several months now since they last spoke with Gaisuco about increasing wages, since this was actually an issue since 2019. The workers said that last year the new management asked for time to come up with a solution. However, days turned to weeks and then into months, and still no satisfaction. So when they finally had a meeting last week, Garu was angry when Gaisuco came to the table acting as if they had no idea why the workers were complaining. But given the increase in productivity and the president's promise to the sugar industry, the workers are telling the management to cough up the dough immediately. Giffland almost got boycotted by the nation's news media today, in an email basically summoning media houses to a last-minute press conference set for today. Giffland marketing manager Lorenzo Passard specifically demanded that News Source and Gordon Mosley be excluded, calling past stories on Giffland biased and wrong. Within minutes, the Press Association issued a statement calling on the whole media to exclude Giffland from coverage. Passard offered a half-hearted apology and rescinded the ban on Gordon. But knowing Gordon, you'll probably hear about this on his radio program tomorrow. Speaking of businessmen who think they are above the law, today's Wrong and Strong award goes to sleep-in hotel owner Clifton Bacchus. This past weekend, the police busted him twice for breaching the national curfew. On Friday night, police raided his casino and arrested Bacchus, 2 bartenders, and 10 Chinese nationals. But having not learned his lesson, the cops busted him again the following night. But did Bacchus learn anything after that? Of course not! They never do! He plans to sue the Rona Task Force, saying that he was wrongfully detained because most of the patrons, not all, but most of the patrons at the bar and casino are also staying at the hotel. Nevertheless, Sleep-In was among several other businesses that were frequently seen operating after the national curfew, which is currently from 10:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. each day. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2018 Suzuki Swift RS Sports Edition. It comes with Bluetooth, CD stereo steering controls, crystal lights, mag rims, fog lamps, and much, much more. Pay cash for $3.6 million. Or pay down as low as $720,000 with around $70,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. On Saturday, the GPF commissioned a $9.5 million Bell 412 EPI medium lift helicopter. Even though it was handed over to the military, officials said the aircraft will have a dual military-civilian function. It intends to use it to monitor the country's fishery zones, conduct search and rescue operations, and move troops whenever needed. The commander of the Air Corps said that the helicopter can also reach any part of the nation without having to refuel. This is the second Bell 412 ever operated by the GDF having last owned one from the years 1982 to 2013. In another sad case of violence against women, some crazy psychopath stabbed and robbed 21-year-old Deandra Ribeiro at Marshall Parktown Northwest District. According to police, she was heading back to a mining camp when a man who was known to her stabbed her in the leg while robbing her of a box containing 12 pennyweights of raw gold valued at 180,000 Guyana dollars. The next day, he returned to continue his assault, hitting her multiple times with a cutlass. While the attack occurred almost 2 weeks ago, she did not report the incident until this past Saturday. Despite having a full description of the man and presumably his location, the police, for some strange reason, have not found the man. Not saying anything here, but I have noticed that money has a very interesting way of hiding people in plain sight. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your existing side hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Over the weekend, a 19-year-old mother of two was stabbed to death by a drunken man while intervening in a fight about who is the better dancer. According to police, the incident happened at a party in Kururu. 20-year-old drunken mess Christoph Stoll was arguing with 29-year-old Adolf Joseph about which of the girls at the party were the best dancer, when he just decided to settle the argument with violence. He pulled out a knife and barely grazed Joseph, but when Joseph's cousin Camille Calistro attempted to intervene, Stoll stabbed her in the abdomen. She was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Joseph did not require medical attention, while Stoll was promptly arrested. Police said when they arrested him, he was, quote, highly under the influence, end quote. Under the influence of stupidity, apparently. In just as depressing news, it's now time for today's Run Report. Today, the nation recorded 27 new cases. There are now 207 persons dead and 8 persons in the ICU. There are now 624 persons in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases in the nation now stands at 9,187. So, please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. A police operation in the Village of God slum in Haiti's capital on Friday left several officers dead and 8 wounded. President Jovenel Moïse confirmed that police officers were killed in the operation, but did not say how many or provided any other details. He offered his condolences to their families and promised to support Haiti's national police. Haiti's police department issued a statement saying that 3 of the 8 officers who were wounded are in critical condition and undergoing surgery. If you own one of the best diesel engines in the world, then the name Cummins is very familiar to you. But even the best engines need spare parts, am I right? Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts at 1161 EE Eccles stocks Cummins engine parts for 6BT and 6CT engines and much more. Call or WhatsApp 697-0171 or follow Powered Automotive Truck Spares and Engine Parts on Facebook. In Trinidad, today 19-year-old Richard Somlall was sentenced to 100 days hard labor for stealing chickens. Maybe this should have been the weird news. Anyway, he pleaded guilty to the foul theft. He was arrested and charged yesterday following an investigation into a report of stolen chickens made by his neighbor on February 1st. Video footage identified Sam Law as one of 4 suspected perpetrators, as his face was the only one unmasked. The other 3 suspects are yet to be identified. And now for our weird news story of the day. A referee in a football match in Brazil was caught on TV peeing his pants in the middle of the field just seconds before the start of a cup match on Thursday. Dennis da Silva Ribeiro Serafim, I hope I said that properly. Anyway, Dennis da Silva Ribeiro Serafim did it so discreetly that you can barely spot it. But eagle-eyed viewers noticed the stream of pee running down the ref's leg and a telltale wet patch on his shorts. Seeing this, the video actually went viral in Brazil before the match even ended. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2021. Lenora Estate, West Coast Demerara properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 or call +1 516 476-2172 for more info. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was, what do you think about the whole Trevor Ben case? RJ Artur said, at least your politicians are getting charged. In Canada, one of the ministers stole $7 million. Instead of charging him, the Prime Minister loaned him the $7 million to pay it back. No charges. I'm glad I found this channel. I realize how much more corrupt Canada is. I'm sure they're all corrupt, but nevertheless, thank you for watching, RJ. But don't get too excited. Everyone here gets charged in Guyana, but few are ever found guilty. That is, unless if you're poor, then you're always guilty until proven innocent. Ha! So, for tonight's question, the sugar workers are protesting for more money. Do you think the government should intervene and just do it, or should the managers and the workers figure it out themselves? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Tuesday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Enrico Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.